This video is going to be all about Raiden's trait, and Raiden's trait has a bit of recovery and startup to it, so you're not really going to be using it in neutral like that, but it does last for about 6 seconds and then has a 7-second cooldown where it comes back, which means you're going to be able to use it multiple times per round, which is nice. Now Raiden's trait does a lot. It changes a lot of his normals and gives a lot of his special moves added properties. The strings it changes is 1-1-2, 1-1-2 back 3, back 1-2, forward 1-2 back 2, forward 2 back 3, and 3 back 3. All these strings gain additional properties. So basically any string that ends in electricity, he can hold it and extend, making it a lot easier to combo off of, do an additional amount of chip, build more meter, and shred armor. So showing you guys what these strings look like when you hold the button down, you can see that he extends the electricity. All of these strings become safe on block, where normally a lot of them are not safe. And if you look at the meter building on the bottom left on Raiden's bar, you can see that he builds a ton of meter by doing this on a lot of his strings. You're able to combo off all of these a lot easier than you normally wouldn't. For example, you hold the button down, if they end up getting hit, they get popped up into the air, and then you can immediately follow up with a Superman. You can also stop short right before the last hit and then extend the combos in different ways, like doing something like this. And this will do an additional amount of damage. So when his trait is active, it pumps up a lot of his normals and makes him a lot better at building meter and converting off hits. His trait also buffs his down 2. His down 2 normally is unsafe on block, but if you have trait active, his down 2 does an enormous amount of damage for one hit. It does more damage than a back 3 would by itself. It does 158 on Sub-Zero, whereas as you can see, a back 3 does 124 damage. So it does a good chunk of damage by itself. His traded down 2 also becomes completely safe on block, so you can kind of just throw it out there, and if you happen to hit your opponent, you get a big chunk of damage, and if they block it, they can't really punish you. Now moving on to Raiden's special moves that all get enhanced when his trait is out. His down 4-2 normally is not a hard knockdown, as you can see, and it sends the opponent full screen. If you have trait active, however, it becomes a hard knockdown and does additional damage, so it leaves your opponent right next to Raiden. If you extend it normally, Raiden cannot follow up with a back 3 afterwards because there's not enough hit advantage. But if you have the trade out and you do a meter burn back 3, you have enough time to go for a back 3 afterwards. Raiden gains an additional property with his projectile when he has trade active. He has the ability to do down back meter burn after he launches a projectile, and if you do it, you'll create a orb of energy that stands still and you can knock the opponent into it. Raiden's Superman flies back 4-3 does more damage if your trade is active. Does a little bit more damage. Same thing with the meter burn one. Does additional damage than it would normally. Raiden's down back 2 also gets enhanced. As you can see, if I do it normally with no trade active, you can see that I can't really follow up as well as I can. But if I have trade active and then I do down back 2, it gives a ton of stun, enough to give me an additional back 3 follow up. The same applies to Raiden's down back 2 EX. If you're in trait, you get more hit advantage off it, and it's extremely easy to follow up with a combo. A great additional thing that the trait gives is talking about Raiden's teleport. Normally, Raiden only has one form of teleport. He can only teleport behind you. He can't teleport in front of you or other areas. But if you have trait out, Raiden gains access to 3 additional teleports to his normal one. So his normal teleport being where he'll teleport behind the opponent always. When you have trait active, you're able to teleport in place by holding down. You can teleport and hold back to teleport in front of your opponent. And the third final teleport is you can teleport and hold back, and you'll teleport away from your opponent. And this is very difficult for the opponent to punish. If you have trait and you're in the corner, you can pretty much EX to teleport and instantly get out of the corner. Now, even though Raiden's trait is a bit on the slower side in terms of getting it out there in the heat of the moment, Raiden has a ton of ways to combo into it, and I'm going to show you guys some of them. So this first combo is pretty simple. You do any confirm into down back 2 EX, and then you do down 2 trait, and then you can combo into trait, and then your trait will be active. You can also apply this to other hits, doing his down back EX projectile, same combo concept, and then you'll be into trait. And also, if you happen to hit your opponent with like a meter burn 4-3 or back 3, you could do down 2 into trait and then combo into it as well. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this Raiden trait breakdown, and I think it's pretty interesting in how many things his trait actually does and changes for the character.